Welcome to MetalVice in 666. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And for today's topic, we are going to talk about the Linkin Park news, which I'm assuming everybody's heard by now.
Oh, I'm sure.
But they're getting back together with a new singer, have a new album coming out in November 15th or so.
Yep.
A few new tour dates as well. But the big news, they're back together, new music, with their new singer, Emily Armstrong.
Yeah, Emily Armstrong from Dead Sarah.
Right.
She was one of the co-founders of Dead Sarah.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't know either.
I've never listened to them. No clue.
Nope. I'm not sure who she was either. It was a surprise when she came out.
For us, anyway.
It was, yeah. I had to look at the comments to see who she was.
Yeah. I'll probably go and check them out here soonish just to see what they sounded like and see how familiar it is or how similar it is to maybe Linkin Park, if that all. But this was sort of teased like a week or two before it even before this concert
like a week
thing.
Before maybe
They had like their 100-hour or 100-minute countdown thing. Must have been 100 hours, not minutes. But on Instagram they had like a little countdown that hit 0 and then glitched and then started counting back up to 9.5.
Yeah.
Which when that happened I was like, oh fuck this shit, this is stupid. I hated that so much. I don't know why.
I know,
but it really pissed me off because I got so excited. I wanted to see the announcement. And it counts down and it starts counting. I was like, fuck this. Just have, I don't know, whatever. But it kind of made sense for what they were doing, right? Because that became sort of the announcement of, hey, we're going to have a show for our top tier fan club member type things. And then I'm assuming it was a free show. I don't know.
I'm not sure if it was free. I don't know how that worked.
Yeah,
I'm not part of it, so I don't know how the tickets work.
I haven't looked into it at all, but I would assume it was either a free show or a super cheap show.
I think they had to purchase tickets because I did see an article that said, because there was so much speculation of what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, like all this stuff, or like what are they going to announce? And one of the articles I saw was like, fan members said that when they bought their tickets or got their ticket, I don't know if it said bought, but when they obtained their tickets, they had to select or say like they're okay being filmed, like an
NDA or like
I don't know if I don't know really like an NDA, but like because I think it was live, so NDA would be more like we're gonna do this and you can't tell anybody. I think it's more of like acknowledgement, like if I attend this show I'm gonna be filmed.
I don't know, I felt like it was like super secretive because they also like bust them into
that's what it seemed like from Instagram.
Oh yeah, exactly. We don't know for sure. We weren't a part of this at all.
No.
But we did tune in and watch the first like 15-20 minutes of the live stream, the few concerts. She came out, sung, the new singer, Emily. I don't know. What were your thoughts? I know you were telling me last night after watching, you're like, I have some thoughts. I'll save it till we talk about it.
Yeah. So I like Linkin Park a lot. And it was one of my 3 bands I would listen to back when I listened to some metal. Like I think I got into them in like 7th grade or so. Around Hybrid Theory, I think, is the album.
Yeah, that first one.
So, but anyways, I really, really enjoy Linkin Park. When Chester passed away, it was devastating, like horrible. And I was always just like, oh, never going to see Linkin Park again. And that's kind of how I took it in my head.
Well, also, we've never seen them live.
We haven't, no.
Never see them again, never hear new music from them. Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah. So I guess, when I say never see them again, like never see them because we never caught one of their live shows.
Yeah.
But anyways, so here, like, I knew, not that I knew that they were getting back together, but I just assumed that's what the announcement was going to be.
There seemed to be a lot of speculation that was what was going to happen.
Yes.
I even saw things where people were saying like it's going to be a new album of unreleased tracks with Chester.
I saw that too.
They've done sort of in the past. They had like the Lost Tracks or something last year that came out.
Lost album, yeah.
Whatever it was. Tracks, and so I could kind of see that, but also like they've already done that. It wouldn't be that big of an announcement for it. So I was definitely on the train of, all right, they're probably getting back together.
Yeah.
Because there's also been a rumor for like over a year now that they've been
a long
shopping
time
around trying to find a singer.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how much shopping they did or if they kind of like knew that Emily was going to be the singer. Because I know that they have done some, like had some other people like do some or sing some songs and people have found out about it and stuff. I don't know. But so listening to this, I kind of knew it was going to be a concert and I knew it was going to be an announcement that they're probably getting back together. And I didn't know about the album though.
Yeah, that was a kind of a cool surprise.
Yeah, that they put that announcement out. And then obviously then they have 6 tour dates, which I can't remember what they were, like New York.
LA, New York, London, Germany, probably Berlin. I can't remember either. Colombia, and I think somewhere in Asia and China, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Was
for
it
sure.
Japan? I don't know.
No,
Anyways,
yeah.
so we can't make any of them. So someday, hopefully we'll see Linkin Park. But
So I think that's a good thing, because I mean they are touring, doing a small sort of run of shows, 6 probably bigger shows, because I think London is the U2 or O2 Arena,
okay.
which is pretty fucking massive. But that's a good sign that, like, all right, let's just get our legs under us. Let's go do a tour, like a small tour thing together. Make sure we're jiving well and whatnot, I assume. And then, all right, next year, 2025, let's embark on like a big
real
U.S.
tour. Yeah.
headlining North America tour, and then maybe Europe as well, type thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was my thought going into it. I knew that it was probably going to be a reunion and that sort of thing. Now, when they first started, Emily hadn't come out yet.
Yep.
And Mike was singing, and I was just like, oh, is he going to be the vocalist? Because I would be okay with that.
Yep.
I honestly would. I've watched multiple times the tributes that Mike has done to Chester and playing Linkin Park music at his concert or his shows and stuff, and I really, really enjoy it. So, but then when she came out and started singing, I had mixed emotions. I liked it because you hear Linkin Park songs, but I don't feel like she has the passion for the songs that Chester did. And that's the part that was really bugging me yesterday that I really wanted to talk to you about. Because in Chester's vocals, and I've watched a lot of the concerts since he's passed away because we never got to see him. And in the vocals, not just on the Spotify record or on the recordings and stuff, but even during the concerts, like he has such a passion in his voice for the lyrics that he's singing. And I feel like Emily does not right now.
Sure.
Now I know Chester wrote many of the lyrics that he sung, so maybe that's a little bit the difference. But I just did not feel that passion. It was more, I'm singing Linkin Park songs.
It could be, and it could be that like it was very nervous going out there and like I'm replacing Chester. Not replacing Chester, but filling his shoes. So like super fucking nervous, especially like how are the fans going to react to this? Are they going to accept me or are they not? So it could just be a bit of the nerves,
yeah.
and got to work into it and whatnot. That's one thing I could potentially see as well. But along those lines, I didn't, the way she I have no problem with her voice and how she sung it, the passion of how she sang and whatnot. I didn't catch any of that. It felt weird to me because
to have like a female voice, or
no, just any other voice.
Any
other voice. It doesn't matter if it was female, male, or whatever. It's just you hear that role, you hear that voice, and it's like that's supposed to be Chester. That's supposed to sound this way, and it doesn't sound this way. So it's like it's just not quite sitting well with me at the time. I think it will grow on me over time as you get used to it, as you hear it over and over and more with her voice or any other voice, really, not just her voice, but any other voice singing that role. It will just get better, I think. But the first time hearing it was just sort of like, ugh.
Like you weren't quite sure.
I'm not sure if I like this. Now, with the new album coming out, that wouldn't have Chester's footprint or fingerprint over any of that.
Unless they have some tracks on the album that were pre-recorded.
I really hope
You hope it's just Linkin Park reunion forward.
I just think I think it's best like, all right, this is what it is. We're going forward from here.
Yeah.
Because if you start doing that, then I'm going to start thinking again, like, oh, well, how would this be with Chester? And I don't want to have that thought. It's like, all right, here's your new singer. Let's see what it feels like now. And it's going to feel the same, I think, because it's a lot of the core members coming back and writing the same music or writing, Linkin Park music, just with a different person singing. And I'm fine with that. And that's where I'm kind of hung up, because there's so many bands where you replace singers or you replace members of the band, and yet you still go by that previous band name, and I'm fine with it. Where other times there's a key member like Chester that's gone, and it's like you can't carry on. Like it's done. Like Queen, Freddie Mercury, you can't replace Freddie.
Right.
But they did 30 fucking years later or more, right? Like it took a long ass fucking time for Queen to come back. So Zeppelin's never been back. Like it's just weird when you lose a key member that to go on and continue that. And it's the feeling I have right now with Linkin Park is the same feeling I had when Pantera got back together a year or so ago.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, Why?
A few years ago, I think now.
Now, yeah. But like, don't like just go by a different name, do something different, have the same style, have the same energy, but you're not Pantera anymore.
See, that's where I'm almost right there because, like I said, I was watching a lot of like Mike. I never say his last name right. Shinoda, I think is how you pronounce it.
I think you did all right.
Okay, so I always watched his stuff on YouTube, like his shows and stuff that he would put on, and like the tributes that he did. And I think they did a huge LA like 3-hour long concert with a tribute to Chester. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, why not Mike Shinoda start a new band? Not that he wants to be the face of the band, but like him and even the other members, like start a new band and maybe sprinkle in some Linkin Park songs into that and go by some other name and not necessarily be Linkin Park.
Yeah, when Hell Yeah was still around, with Vinny, we saw him play a couple of times, I think, by now. And they did a Pantera bit in the middle of the set, and I'm completely fine with that. And even we just saw Kerry King with Lamb of God, and they played a couple of Slayer songs.
I think just one Slayer song.
It was two Slayer songs.
Oh, two Slayer songs? Okay.
We thought just one we recorded, but yeah, it was two.
Okay.
But like, I'm perfectly cool with that. Like, all right, sprinkle a few Linkin Park songs in there, but kind of like, are you really Linkin Park now? But again, one of our early 666s, we talked about what I called forever bands.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was super down with the idea, especially around Slipknot, I would like to see Slipknot in 75 years with a completely unoriginal lineup. And there's so many other bands out there where the band itself has no original members in it. And it's kind of weird to think that I'm okay with that for some bands, but other bands like Linkin Park, I'm kind of like,
it's done. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess this comes back to, when I think of Linkin Park, I think of Chester.
Right.
And I don't think that that's how bands should be viewed. It shouldn't be the vocalist as the face of the band. You know, it should be like, when I think of Metallica, I don't think of James. I think of Metallica.
Yeah, and I think of James and Lars. To me, they are Metallica. Kurt and Rob are just sort of afterthoughts, but they're not. Like, they're core members of the band.
I guess I just think of that. And same with Disturbed. Like, I'm especially Disturbed. Okay, I can compare Disturbed and Linkin Park because they're two bands that I listened to together. Before Chester's death, I could not tell you another band member in Linkin Park except for Chester because that's how I viewed it. But with Disturbed, I knew all the members, you know, like, and I just think of them as one core. So I think that's the difference here. Why I'm having such a struggle is because of that. And even when I saw people saying like, you cannot replace Chester, and I know you use that word, replace, I never think of it as replacing. It's always, I hope it's a tribute to him. And maybe it will be. Maybe it will turn out to be that way. When this 15 minutes that we watched, because we weren't able to watch the whole thing due to other priorities, but for the 15 minutes that we watched, I didn't get a tribute aspect out of it. But then again, we only watched 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm fine with not necessarily like I'm going to tribute. Like, you can do a whole segment of tributing Chester, great, but at that point, like, just sort of, you need to own the lyrics now yourself. You need to own that role yourself.
Yeah. In
my head, anyway, personally, and make it your own from that standpoint. What I'm struggling with, again, is sort of where you're at, is like, to me, that's still Chester, and hearing it sung by somebody that isn't Chester is like, fuck, that's just, it feels weird.
Yeah.
And again, I think just over time, it will feel less and less weird.
That's true, and it could, yeah. Once you
not in like, I'm forgetting what he did and what he meant. More of like, I'm getting comfortable with it, and I'm okay with maybe saying goodbye, basically, right? Like, I'm okay now saying goodbye and letting go and moving on. And maybe that's where I'm at right now. Is it's kind of hard to let go and say goodbye type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Any case, I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited for the new album. I want to see it. That was an awesome surprise. I'm sure they'll come through town. I'm sure we'll go see it.
I was just gonna say, like, I think after we see them live, we might change our mind.
Yeah.
Also, because listening to them for 15 minutes just doesn't.
Yeah.
And the album's not out, so we won't be able to listen to over. You know what I mean? Like, over and over.
Yep,
her voice being the voice of Linkin, or the vocals of Linkin Park. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited, but yeah, it was weird. It was weird to say the least. But I am excited to see what comes next. any case, it was sort of live music, but it was music news in general, I guess. So super excited to see what happens next. Go check out some music.
Bye.